This is my Simvertex V7 sim racing shifter. It's a high-end all-metal design and about half the price of many of its competitors in the higher-end sim racing shifter market. I've had this on my rig for about a year. It's convertible from H-pattern to sequential, feature-rich, and one of my most requested reviews, so let's get into that now. Alright, so as mentioned, this is my Simvertex V7 shifter, and this is usually the point of the video where I tell you this one was sent to me for free for review, but that's not actually the case. I bought this one, hence the no rush to get the review out. And I've had enough time to spend with it to, render an opinion, I think, safely at this point. I paid about $500 US for it, and that's kind of the point I'm going to use as a reference for this video. Depending on which distributor or channel or seller you buy this through, it could vary in price, but I'm going to say $500 US because that's approximately what I paid a year ago. So the V7 shifter, you may be used to something more like this. This is an offering from Thrustmaster. I actually quite like this shifter, but it's kind of a lower end shifter, certainly by comparison, and a lot of plastic on this. And this Simvertex V7 is meant to compete in a different market. Something like BDH or Quaife, significantly more expensive and different components going in there. I don't want to do a one-to-one comparison, but this is more what that is aimed at, that higher end. It's got a much more immersive, much more positive feel than do your sort of off-the-shelf Thrustmaster and Moza shifters. So aiming at that higher market, but again, somewhere around $500 US. I mentioned it's convertible between H-pattern and sequential. I will show you that in a second. Let's take a quick, or give you a quick idea first of how this works. You probably see it's quite an interesting design, so you can hopefully see this when I throw this into gear. This would be first gear for me. You can see that this rod moves going to second gear. That rod now protrudes further, go up into third gear. The one in the middle goes flush, go to fourth gear. The one in the middle is further proud. So why is that? Well, it's how this works. It's kind of a three-part system. So there's three metal rods that run inside the body here, and you can actually see them. It's got a window on both sides. You can actually see into there to see how that is designed. But basically those three rods have a notch even with the shifter arm. So right now I'm in the middle notch, so the middle rod. So if I go up into third gear, again, that middle rod goes down. And conversely, if I go to fourth gear, that rod now sticks up. And I'm going to show you what that all means in a second. So what we're doing, and if I go to the side, like this would be, I guess, reverse, or let's go fifth. So if I go to fifth gear, this rod moves because there is a fulcrum inside here. So if the shifting arm is to my right, then it moves the left rod and vice versa. And what that actually does when you push the rod forward or back, there's actually two switches in there. I'll try and get a close-up shot, but the two switches sit like this, and then there's a piece in the middle, a triangular shaped piece that rests right about where my thumb is here. And then when you move the rod forward, this switch is engaged, and then you move it to neutral, switches go back to neutral. Pull it back, it engages this switch. So that's what's actually communicating with your computer to tell you that you have chosen a gear. Speaking of connecting to your computer, we have two ports here. I'll get into this port in a second, but there's a 4-pin, hopefully I'm pointing at the right one. Yes, there's a 4-pin connection here. This is the male side. The female side is actually your USB cable. So instead of using a standard USB A or C port, they use the screw-on type. So you plug it in here with the female end, screw it on, and that thing is not going to come loose. So it's a nice touch, certainly, and I'll talk more about that port in a second. You also have adjustability here. These three screws, bolts, you can tighten them if you want a stiffer detent, or you can loosen them if you want a less stiff detent. So it's going to depend on what you want. Now, If we're talking about 3 rods, either up or down, flipping those switches, how many gears are we limited to? 6. And what if you have 6 forward gears plus reverse? What do you do then? Well, you're in trouble, but not actually. So the Simvertex V7 has thought of that. So what was bundled with mine, you can take the shift arm out, and I do believe, by the way, you can replace these shift knobs, but don't quote me on that. They also shipped this one with it. So what we have here, see if I can get this on safely. No pressure, Mike. There we go. So you'll notice this cable, and that was the other one I was alluding to, that's going to plug into the front. Old man eyes, sorry. So that's going to plug in, same as your USB cable, and screw down so it doesn't come loose. And that actually significantly increased the number of gears I can select, because this is a gear, and this is a different gear. So most racers will probably want 6 forward gears plus reverse. Even if you want more than that, if you're driving like a C7 Corvette, I can't think of too many cars with 7 or more forward gears. But you could shift as normal with this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then if you wanted reverse, pull up and back, and that is your reverse. So it dramatically increases the number of gears you have just by using this. And again, it's an active component. It takes away a bit from the aesthetics, but it's nothing too terrible. So pretty cool way of adding that. Now, I mentioned one other thing, and that is that this is convertible. Come on, you. To sequential. So how do we do that? Well, it's actually fairly simple. Let me go ahead and put the shift lever back on the default. There we go. Okay, so normally I can go to the side and select different gears. If I flip this red lever to this position, I can no longer go, well, I can go a tiny bit to the side, but not much, but it's mostly going to stay in each channel and allow me to go back and forth. Now, what's the problem with that? That's not a sequential. You want your sequential to go into gear and immediately return back to the neutral position, up a gear, down a gear, depending on how you have it mapped, and then back to the neutral position. You don't want it to stick. So how do we get by that? You probably guessed it. You loosen this off. You loosen the detent. So I forgot my my Allen key on the other side of the room, so forgive me. So through the magic of television, we are back. I'm gonna loosen this off. Don't know how much I need to do it. That does it. That's a bit too loosey-goosey. Let's see if I can tighten that down a bit. Getting there. That feels pretty good. And again, if you want it to stick for whatever reason, or maybe you're going back to H pattern, you can tighten that down. That's about where I like it. You can go real tight though, and have it where you have to work to get it in gear. So depending on how stiff you like your shift, these screws will allow you that level of customization. So it's a pretty cool setup here with the Simvertex. And again, all metal design, plexiglass on the side here. It does come with a bottle of lube. Absolutely use the lube. That was one of the things I looked up when I ordered it. Between when I ordered it and when I received it, everyone's saying use the lube, and they're right. It works out of the box. I did try it, but it just works so much smoother when you add the lube. So it's great that they added that. So one more thing I guess I should talk about is the mounting options. So 2 slots here to put bolts through into your shifter plate. You can also see there's a few more here. You would have to take the plexiglass side out to access those, but that way your bolts would be hidden. So pretty cool. So feature rich, it's very heavy actually. That all metal design really comes through in the weight. So extremely well designed. So next up, I just want to show you how this comes up in the software. All right, so here we are in Windows. And just going to check out how this maps. So I've just got your Windows USB controller open here, USB game controllers rather. So if I go up to 1, you can see 6 shows. I actually have it inverted. It should be the other way around, but it's whatever. 2 comes across as 5, 3, 4, 4, 3. And then 5th gear shows as 2, 6th gear shows as 1. And I mentioned there are other buttons. So if I pull up on this lever, shows as 9. If I pull up, over, back, that is 10. So yeah, up, so that's 11. So again, you can map that as 7 and reverse if you want, but yeah, that's the basics of how the Simvertex V7 will map in Windows. All right, so time now to test things out. We have the RSS Formula 79 here at the Nordschleife tourist layout, and we'll see if we can actually survive a lap here using the H-pattern shifter. And yeah, I'm sure you've got this in the video so far, but absolutely love this thing, and it just makes everything H-pattern related just so much nicer, so much more crisp, so much more mechanical, so much more realistic feeling, and I could not really love the Simvertex V7 H-pattern anymore. I could love that corner a little bit more though. But yeah, everything just feels so crisp, and it just allows me to hit my gears a lot cleaner than I could with either my TH8A, my TH8S, my Moza, can't remember the model name, but any of the other H-pattern shifters I have just frankly don't stack all the way up to this. And the shift knob, I don't love the included shift knob. I'm going to try and replace that actually. I mean, I haven't done so in a year, but maybe eventually I'll get around to replacing that shift knob. It just, I don't know, hits my hand, but not as cleanly as I would like perhaps. But yeah, it does the job. We'll complete this lap. Should be somewhere in the 6-minute range, 6.5 minutes maybe. And that should be a sufficient test, sufficient demonstration even of this Simvertex. And I don't H-pattern shift a lot, so forgive me with the lazy blip shifting. I'm out of practice. Need to get back into that. Whoop, missed the gear, there you go. So it can still happen, I just find it happens a lot less with this shifter. Keep third gear here. And yeah, I like my, in case you're wondering like how I have this set up, I like the shifts to definitely click into gear. I want to feel some sort of mechanical click at the same time. I don't want to have to force it into gear, so it's probably on the looser end of the shifting spectrum with this Simvertex V7, although not all the way loose, of course. Again, I do like to feel that click. I like to feel it kind of snapping into gear. Whoa! Didn't think I would make that corner, but we managed to survive. Come on, girl. Get your grip. But yeah. Makes driving something like this RSS 79 just a different experience, honestly. Just makes it feel alive and like you're connected to the car in another way. We don't get a ton of haptic sensation when we sim race. You know, we get our force feedback in our wheels. Some of us might have butt kickers or something on our rig, maybe even motion. But as much hands-on as we can get with the car, the more hands-on we get with the car in various aspects, the more connected we feel, the more realistic it feels, in my opinion. And yeah, this Simvertex is just another way to add one more slight dimension of realism. Whoa, get around there, girl. Whoa, came in hot. Managed to hold on to it. Ooh, I didn't know if I could take that flat or not. When in doubt, flat out, and it worked out. Whoa, 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 whoa. Watch those curbs. Whew. Watch that everything, I believe. So yeah, just I hope I've sufficiently demonstrated the H pattern. I will finish the lap no matter what, but hopefully you get a sense of what this thing performs like. Very crisp. I'm able to shift. I don't know why I was going to say shave. I'm able to shave at my normal speed and shift perhaps a bit faster than I could with a more off-the-shelf product. And certainly add a little dimension of realism and a big dimension of enjoyment to my sim racing with this shifter. Little kick of the back end as it dropped into the Bell FS section there. Love this car track combo. Come on, girl. Oh! Not sure how I saved that. Ground effect, actually, is how I saved that. Woo. And one final corner here. One final shift. And that is my demonstration of the H pattern. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the sequential shifting now. Alright, so keeping it Nords, switching the car though. This is the Ferrari GT1, and we are going to sequential shift our way around this track. And it's not the sequential shifter I'm used to. I have the SG Racing sequential, so this one is foreign to me. So still getting used to the spacing. You might see me reach for air one of these times. But yeah, I did just want to show you that sequential functionality of the car, of the shifter. Whoa, a handful is this Ferrari. But yeah, it's a competent sequential shifter. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. It's not on the level of my SG. My SG is a big, ugly, automotive grade sequential shifter and handbrake. And this is not that. It's not on that level. Although it's very, very good. This blows away any other sequential shifter I have. And to be fair, I think the Moza is the only official sequential I own. I do have mods that allow me to run my other shifters, my other H-pattern shifters as sequential. But yeah, for official comparison, it's my SG or my Moza sequential. And yeah, this is slotted far closer to the SG high-end side of things than the Moza, although, yeah, not on the level of the SG. But still very, very good. And I think the key to this, honestly, is just getting the weight right of how hard you want your detent to be. I can't believe I saved that. Thought it came in way too hot. Yeah, if you can get the detent feel correct, it's going to change things dramatically. So what I basically did was turn down the well, actually I put it in gear and then turned down the detent until until it popped out of gear, and that way I knew I was, you know, at or around the correct amount. And then I dialed it back just a slight bit past that. That's what I'm running now. So certainly functional, although probably more tuning, finding exactly what I like. It'd be nice to have a little bit more snap, but again, it sounds like I'm complaining, but I actually really quite like it. It's just not on the level of my SG. But I don't think many people looking for kind of an all-in-one combo solution would have much to complain about with this as a sequential. Come on, girl. Get around there. There we are. Woo. Oh man, what a car, by the way. I love this thing. I saw a YouTube video of somebody, I can't remember who it was Haggerty? Anyway, somebody took this car out, and that V12 sound just made me fall in love and rediscover the car. There you go, I reached for my sequential there. You saw me almost airball it. I just caught it with the bottom of my hand, but just about missed it. I'm used to my sequential being right here. I can almost guarantee you, if you overlaid my hand with where my sequential normally is, this would be exactly where that knob is. I got so used to it playing a lot of EA WRC, and now it's missing. I miss it. Come back, SG. Oh boy, I'm really pushing the limits of this GT1. And then I completely chickened out on that corner. Oh, mama. Okay, so just about a third of the lap to go here. No way I'm taking that flat. So I actually like, I think, of the two shift knobs, the ball style and then this style that you're seeing on your screen now. I definitely prefer this one. If I could somehow mate that with the H pattern, that would probably be my ideal combo. Get around there. Yes! Wow, he held on to it. Usually once two tires are on the grass, that's it. You're almost guaranteed 4. But I somehow managed to pull that out. I'm just going to go 20 kilometers an hour for the rest of the lap. It seems like I've been flirting with disaster long enough here that eventually I'm going to run out of luck. But yeah, big smiles from this Simvertex shifter. It really is just a tremendous piece of machinery. And I'll get back to the table in a moment, tell you my good, neutral, and bad. But yeah, just huge levels of enjoyment. And even though this sequential is my least favorite of the two, I prefer the H pattern, but I mean, it's still really excellent and provides you a good bit of realism and haptic feel for your car that just ups the enjoyment immensely if you're upgrading from a more mainstream product. So yeah, that's kind of my opinions on driving with the Simvertex V7 in H pattern and now sequential. Alright, so let's talk about the good, neutral, and bad of my Simvertex V7 shifter. Things I like, things I'm just kind of okay with, and things I don't like about the shifter. Number one is the build quality in the good category. Absolutely love it. It's a rock. It has no flex anywhere, no hints of weakness or anything like that. Just comes across as a really well-made product. And also in the good category, we talk about it being dual mode. So you can go from, whoops, come on Mike, be ready. You can go from H pattern to sequential, just that easy. That's pretty impressive. It's not the best sequential shifter I own, but certainly the best H pattern shifter I own, and a very good sequential shifter, better than probably 80-90% of everything on the market. So it does both jobs very well, and having the ability to convert between the two, not having to buy two separate products, huge plus. And also we'll talk about the price. $500 US is what I paid for this. Again, depending on which reseller you go through or distributor, that price is going to vary a little bit. I don't think I've seen it below 500 US dollars, but I've certainly seen it above. So just be careful when you're shopping. But 500 US dollars for a product that feels really, really good, head and shoulders above anything else I've owned in the past, I think puts it not in the true value of sim racing. This is not the new CSLDD or anything like that. But if you're in the market for a higher end shifter, I think $500 is a very reasonable price. And also we can talk about the size. One of the few drawbacks of those big BDH shifters or products like that is that they are massive. And so fitting them on your rig can be taxing. This doesn't occupy that huge of a footprint. So this is the Moza shifter by reference. So it's not actually that much bigger than the Moza. So, I mean, it's going to fit on most people's rigs. That's an advantage of this is the size. It's probably compatible with more people's rigs than a lot of the other higher end shifters on the market. And lastly, in the good, the adjustability, the ability to change the detent using the screws to set it to your liking. Very cool. Simple thing, and because of the design of this Simvertex V7, you're allowed to do that, and it's definitely a bonus feature. And the neutral category, things I'm just kind of okay with. Number one is the noise. It is loud. Now that's on an IKEA desk, so it's getting a bit of echo, but even on your rig, it is going to be loud. People are going to hear it in the next room. Now, my suspicion is the type of person that's looking for a $500 shifter isn't going to be too concerned about noise. They've probably got a big speaker system that's going to drown this out easily. But just the same, it kind of falls into the neutral category for me because it is something to be aware of. If you're somebody who races with headphones or something like that and wanted a higher end shifter, just be aware it is going to be noisy. And we can also talk about the inconsistency between distributors. Depending on where you shop, you can get different, even down to specs. The specs may vary depending on which store you're shopping in, and as will the price, as I spoke about before. So it's kind of annoying that you have to shop around just to get this. It would be nice if there was an official store where you knew exactly what you were getting and the price was consistent and that was the place to get it. But as it stands, you kind of have to shop around, make sure you're getting the features you want, make sure you're getting the price you want. So that kind of falls into the neutral category. And lastly, in the neutral category, we would talk about no console compatibility. Much like the noise, I don't think console racers would necessarily be going this hardcore with a shifter. This feels like a PC product, and it is a PC only product. So console people, I'm sorry, but this will not be for you. There may be ways to convert it, but natively it is only for PC. And in the bad category, just one thing to talk about, and that is the customer support. I would not know who to speak to if this Simvertex shifter broke down. This is not something, there's no readily available contact phone number that I could see. I bought this through AliExpress and it just kind of arrived at my door and then good luck, sir. So it's not obvious the sort of path you would take if this did break down. And that's something you're going to get with those higher end shifters I referenced earlier, BDH, Quafe, that kind of thing. You're going to get that customer service where if it breaks down, if you're having trouble with it, pick up the phone, they'll walk you through how to fix it. You will not have that with this. So it's certainly in the bad category because even though I don't think there's much that could break and it's been very reliable for me for a year, if it did, you might be in trouble. But overall, I absolutely love this shifter. This has changed the way I look at H-pattern shifting. I have a different sequential shifter that I use, but for H-pattern shifting, I look forward to it now. Whereas when I had a lower end, I used the TH8A Thrustmaster shifter for many years, and it was just kind of annoying. I would miss gears and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't happen with this. I'm so much more consistent with this, and it just feels so much more immersive having it clunk into gear. That mechanical feel that you get with the Simvertex is just on a higher level than anything sort of off the shelf. So I really couldn't be happier. The Sim Gaming Expo a couple of weeks ago did afford me the opportunity to try some of the higher end name brand shifters like BDH and Quafe. And this honestly does almost everything those shifters do. Again, I don't want to get into a one-to-one comparison. I'm sure those shifters do things that this cannot, but it's very, very close. It's not like the difference between, you know, a Moza shifter, a Thrustmaster shifter, and the BDH. This is much, much closer. So at $500, I think it puts you in a position where you have to ask, how much is that last little bit worth to me? How accurate do I want my shift? And the good news is, you can buy whatever you want. If you have the money for a BDH, I'm sure it'll be fantastic. I'm sure you'll love it. If you're more budget restricted and are closer to the $500 price point, but you want a higher end shifter, strong recommendation from me on this Simvertex. I think the world of it, and it's really changed, again, how I look at sim racing. So extremely well done to Simvertex, and one of my favorite products in my rig right now. All right, so that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know your thoughts on this shifter or anything else shifter related in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.